And remembering those lost on HMS Sheffield, a memorial to the sunken Falklands warship will be unveiled today. And today actually marks the 40th anniversary of the attack on HMS Sheffield during the Falklands War, when an Argentinian missile struck the Royal Navy destroyer and actually killed 20 crew members in the process.
It was the first British warship to sink during enemy action since the Second World War and became a key moment in the conflict. Navtej Johal reports.
The images may be grainy, but the memories of what happened 40 years ago are still clear in the minds of the survivors. On May the 4th, 1982, HMS Sheffield, a Royal Navy destroyer on a scouting mission off Port Stanley in the South Atlantic, was hit by an Argentinian Exocet missile. It became the first British ship to be lost in combat since World War II, and the first of 4 to be sunk in the Falklands War.
If you imagine a missile, you're expecting a bang, no bang.
Andy Stevenson was just 18 years old at the time. He was part of HMS Sheffield's logistics staff and one of the vessel's crew of around 280 sailors. The ship was named after his home city.
It was just this, it was like a massive blast of air that blew me out of my bunk.
Amid the chaos and confusion, Andy was asked to provide a list of surviving crew members.
What I didn't realise until I went round the second time was I left my own name off the list. So it's about 2 or 3 in the morning on probably May the 5th. There's a knock at my parents' door with a policeman and a vicar saying, unfortunately, your son's missing, presumed dead.
I name the ship Sheffield.
The 4,100-ton warship had been launched by the Queen in 1971. Before the Falklands War began, it was on its way home after a 6-month overseas deployment. The attack was a retaliation following the sinking of the General Belgrano 2 days earlier, which claimed more than 300 Argentinian lives. News of the hit on HMS Sheffield stunned the public back home in Britain. John Galway was another on board that day.
I was just bending over to put my anti-flash on when we got hit. And my mate Hannah called me back. I'd have been in the galley. I wouldn't be here today. After we got hit and I'm lying on the deck, just looking at this big pool of blood sort of starting to appear below me, not knowing exactly where I was or anything like that, and thought I'd initially lost my leg because I couldn't feel my leg.
The burning vessel was abandoned 5 hours after it was struck. It eventually sank 6 days later while being towed away. 20 sailors had died and 26 were injured.
You do challenge your own mortality. Why have I come off? Why am I alive? And obviously you get told very, very quickly because it's not your time. But you still question the fact that you've just come through this major ordeal and you're still here talking about it, and yet people that you're quite close to on board, why was it their time at 19?
Today, a memorial to HMS Sheffield will be unveiled at the National Memorial Arboretum, a permanent reminder of events that still resonate 40 years on. Navtej Johal, BBC News.
And at 8:30 this morning, we're actually going to be speaking to somebody who was on HMS Sheffield that day, remembers it vividly, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and all sorts of issues since then, but is happy to talk about it and what it means to remember that event today.
Yeah, we're marking lots of those really important anniversaries at the moment, aren't we? It's really very, very good to do.
And the Telegraph hears that senior MPs are demanding that the French government reveals what it knows about the use of Exocet missiles that killed dozens of British sailors during the Falklands War.